Okay, today we're starting 11.5, which is direct variation. So we're going to start by defining what direct variation is. So direct variation is going to be two variable quantities are related proportionally by a constant ratio. And we are always going to see this as y equals k times x, where k can represent your slope. So just like how you had y equals mx plus b, you might see something, for example, of y equals 2x, or another example of y equals negative 1/3 x. Those are both examples of direct variation as y varies or x directly varies with it. Let's start with this first example, and all I want to do is find the equation. And remember, our equation is y equals kx. So what we are looking for here is the k. So for this first example, it says y is 52 when x is 4. So in order to figure out k, I need to solve for it. So all I'm going to do is plug in 52 for y. I'm going to keep it as a k, and I'm going to write it first just because that does come first in our equation. And then I'm going to plug in 4 for k. Now I just want to solve for k, so I'm going to use inverse, so I'm going to divide both sides by 54. And you end up getting k equals 13. So all I'm going to do is say y equals 13x. That's my equation there. Okay, let's try this one. X is 10 when y is 15. So go ahead and try this one on your own. Plug it into the equation and see if you can solve for k, and then create your direct variation equation. So what you should have done is 15 equals k times 10, because it says y is 15 and x is 10. Then we're going to divide both sides by 10. And you get k equals 15 over 10, but we need to reduce our fraction every single time. So I'm going to reduce this to 3 over 2 by dividing by 2. So my equation is y equals 3 over 2x. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to find the missing variable. Okay, so in this direction it says y varies directly with x. All that's doing is telling you that we are going to be using y equals kx. Then it says if y equals 10 when x equals 5. That's just like what you were doing before. So first, this is telling us that we need to find that equation. So we're going to have two steps. The first step is to find the equation. So let's go ahead and start by doing that. Let's find that equation. So I'm going to say negative 10 equals k times 5. And I'm just going to divide both sides by 5. So I get k equals negative 2. So my equation is negative 2x. Okay. The second part that I'm going to do is I'm going to do what it says here, where it says find y when x equals 7. So the next part is going to be to plug and chug using that equation we just found. So I'm finding y. So I don't know what y equals. So I'm going to say y equals. I know my k now, so I'm going to say negative 2, and my x is 7. So all I'm going to say is y equals negative 14. So that's the answer when y varies directly with x. Let's try one more like that. Again, it says y varies inversely with x. All this means is now if you look down here, it says find x when y equals. So now all I'm going to be doing is solving for x instead of y. So again, we're going to start with those two steps. So what I want you to first do is I want you to find that equation. And then, so press pause, find your equation, and then hit start again. Okay, so what you should have done, it says if y equals 40 when x equals 10. So all I'm going to do is 40 equals k times 10. I'm going to divide both sides by 10. So k equals 4. So my equation is y equals 4x. Now I'm going to use that second part to figure out what x is. So find x when y equals 24. So I'm going to say negative 24 equals 4 times x. Now I'm just going to solve for x. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. So x equals negative 6. So that is my final answer. So now that you're done with notes, you can go ahead and do your exit flip.